to it. If you don't know now, that's the only way I do it. Backyard boogie got the whole party moving. Drop top 6'4", pulling up grooving. Vogue's on that thing, 4-finger rings. Gold on my neck, a couple diamonds in my chain. Cutie with the body looking oh so fine. Won't play it like a hobby, she know I'm on the grind. I don't need no introduction. You get a lot further if you follow these instructions. I've been at the park since the youngin', jumping off the porch, right into the function. Just say you know a lot means nothing. I'm from where you gotta show me something. To either be about it or you're bluffing. Style like this don't come a dime a dozen. So fresh, no flow. Here we go. Gold in my mouth when I conversate. Cloth talk like church when we congregate. Table full of winners in a full plate. Ahead of our time, it's still a day late. Greatest alive, you know my lifeline. We ain't alike, we on a different time. What that sound like? They don't even rhyme. They dark in the light, they don't even shine. Pity the fool, that's what I never do. Down to the T, you know I'm staying true. Pushing the limit and breaking a rule. Breaking the bank and getting revenue. Let's bring it back to the basics. Like DJs and beat breaking. If it's for the culture, then it's sacred. And staying fly is how we staying.
Is it enough for this love I give? I wanna step up to the mark for him. Sometimes the pressure I feel is real. I wanna give in, I wanna give in. Seasons change, I feel me change with them. Feel the visit from a friend, change anything. Times the pressure I feel is real. I wanna give in, I wanna give in. I'll give you the light when they're taken down. I'll be your guide on those days when you can't find your way home. We go, we go, we go, we go, we go, we go, we go hand in hand, step by step. We go hand in hand, step by step. I'll give you the light when they're taken down. I'll be your guide on those days when you can't find your way home.
Alrighty, music off, and there we go. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We're here with another PC build. Alrighty, hopefully that lighting's not too bad. Should be all sweet. Alrighty, we're gonna take a bit more time today. We're gonna kind of do it as a tutorial how to build PC, pretty much. Right, well, first of all, I like to start by getting the motherboard out. You can either kind of like unpack it and sit it on top of the block, or I've got like a little foam padding here from the case, so we're going to use that to rest it on. So from your motherboard box, you'll have all your little bits and pieces. Make sure you unpack them, find them all, then get rid of the rubbish. And now we're going to use this as the instructions and manual box and everything like that. Get rid of that. If you do want to, you can hold on to the anti-static bag. Alrighty. Whoops. Or you just drop it like I do. Alright. So, I'm going to put that down. In this case, that's going straight in the fucking rubbish. Right. Now, what I like to start with is just the CPU. We'll get it out the way, get it done. There's a couple different ways you can do this, but all we really need to do, push this little lever down here, click that out. Now, you can leave this little black bit in, but I like to get rid of it. It just makes it easier, less scary. So you just pop that out with your finger. We'll get rid of that. Right, then you can grab the CPU out. Now, very easy, just flick it out onto your hand, hold the edges, then you want to flip up this lid. Try not to like stick your finger in there. And then, yeah, with it facing, if you can see that angle, I'm going to sit that in there, give it a slight little wiggle, close the lid. Then with that same lever, if I can get that angle, grab that lever and just push straight down, lock her in, and done. Alrighty, so that will be sitting like that. All sweet. This does have an arrow to match up with the CPU if you want to make sure you're doing it the right direction, but yeah, easy as that. Now, that back in there. I like to keep this box. It's tiny, so it doesn't take up much room. Plus, if you want to sell it, it's there. Next, I like to do the M.2 SSD. We'll mount that in the motherboard. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Everything's gonna be alright. Flip that out. We got our screwdrivers. Then we just got to find our M.2 slot, which is always put your first one in the top one here. So we'll unscrew that. You going?
Yep.
Okie dokie. Love you.
Thank you. Love you, Bob.
Alrighty, I'm back. Okay, so where was I? Putting the M.2 in. This is pretty easy to put in again. It's a bit hard to get a close up, but it pretty much just slots into the little holder there, and then most of these have like a little quick release lever. Just flick that to the right side, lock that in, boom, done, easy. Then the heatsink will have some thermal, oh my god, tape on it. Make sure you peel the plastic off, and then we'll stick that back down. So I should have, baby, don't you cry, everything's gonna be alright. Oh my goodness, I forgot about my TikTok. I'm so sorry if anyone's been watching on there. Sheesh. What do you got? Tough Funk, thanks for the follow, bro. Uh, 2 seconds. Is that still working? Yep. Alright, I'm back. Alright, so SSD's in, the heat sink's back on. Rubbish, see you later. Let's just put that chat box right there. That's better. Alright, next is the RAM. Now, out of all the parts you could fuck up, this is probably the easiest you can fuck up. Whoops, don't drop them like I just did. So, to do the RAM, you got your 4 slots here. Your motherboard will tell you which ones to use first. Not sure if you'll be able to see it there. Oh, just. Yeah, so using slots 2 and 4, we just flick up the little levers. Find out which way your RAM sits. Has a little slot in it to line up. Now, pushing these in is where you can fuck shit up, so just don't. Try and go straight down and it will click. Try not to get any side wobble movement, because that's just not a good time. All right, and just like that, RAM, CPU, and the SSD is done. All right, we're boosted. In you go. Right, this I forgot to say the specs of the CPU and stuff because I'm an idiot. So this is a B650 MSI Gaming Plus motherboard, B650M, so it is the M-ATX version. A Ryzen 7 7700X CPU, AM5 system, and then a Kingston Fury Beast RAM, 32 gigabytes of 6000 CL36, I think, from memory. All right, now there's a couple ways to do this next part. We can either put the CPU cooler on first, to make it easier to mount, but then it's harder to then put it all in the case. So we're going to leave it till after, just to make the cabling a little bit easier. So I'm just going to put this aside for now. Next thing, we want to grab our case. So just give me 2 seconds. Sorry about that. Alrighty. I thought the boys would have fucking tuned in on this. Clearly not. Where are they? Oh, there we go. I just fucking sent the dude a message that I'm building this for. Alright, so after we've put the motherboard down for a little bit, we're going to grab the case. So this is the MSI Pano M100R. So it's MATX case. Down here we've got the front I/O. So you got the power button, the LED adjust button, a USB 3 port, and a USB-C port. Really funky looking case. It's got some cool little edges on it. Not exactly the normal fish tank. You've got 3 built-in reverse blade fans, and one at the back as well. Not reverse blade, just normal. Power supply box at the bottom there is spot for another fan if you do want to. And you could probably put some under here, on top of this if you can make them fit with your graphics card. But really nice case. Magnetic front glass front panel. Then you've got a couple of thumb screws up here for this top one, which should be a slide. Yep. Not a removable mesh filter, but there is mesh in there. It's not fully open, so there is mesh in there. You could probably wipe down. Yeah. Share your MSI experience with others. How about no? Alrighty, installation manual blip, that goes in there because we don't need that. Right. Yes, Lewis, vertical stream is turned horizontal because if I make it vertical, it will look stupid. Magnetic back panel, again, really easy case to deal with. Then here, I'm not a fan. Not a huge fan of their LED. I mean LED. Well, it is LED, but their RGB hub in the back here. But it is a cheap case. It does look cool, and yeah. Derby, what's going on, brother? Now, in the case, for some weird reason, it gives you a spirit level thingy. I don't know. I just don't know. I like maybe to level out your GPU, like if you're that fucking petty. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, so we won't use that. That's just ridiculous. Does have a magnetic GPU support though, which is amazing for the price. You don't get that on any other build. Well, any other case really. That is cool to have. Anyway, so screws all over there. Next you want to do is, how are we going to do this? Trying to think of the best way to make it easy for you guys. Because I know how I usually like to build the PCs, but I'm going to make it step by step a little bit easier for you guys to follow. I'm going to say we're going to chuck in the power supply. So flip her around on the back. The cable management in this already is horrendous. Fuck you, MSI. But now this is where a lot of people get confused. It's so simple. Don't get confused, guys. Instructions in the instruction box. Now we start with the cables. 240-volt cable. We need that later. Put it aside. All these new power supplies, they are ATX 3.1. So they do have the 12-volt plug for the 50 series and the 40 series GPUs. All braided cables, nice to work with. Easy as. Anyway, First ones we want to look for is it's going to say CPU on one end and the other end doesn't matter. You want one of those. Then you want another. Oh my God. Then you want another one of those. So you should find two cables with CPU written on them. We need two of those. SATA power, you will need if you've got any USB hub, fan hubs, shit like that. External hard drives. I don't think. No, we do need one for the built-in hub. So we'll put one of those aside. The 12 volt to PCIe cables. Now this is a new design that they're doing. So what you have is usually you have to use like 2 times 8 pins for your GPU, 2 to 3 depending on your size. But what they've started doing is a 16 pin. Whoop. Yep, you can't see it properly, but you get what I mean. Into 2 8 pins. Perfectly fine to use. That's what we're using. Next is the almighty 24 pin plug. You'll need that. That's your motherboard power. I'll undo that in a minute. Another PCIe. If you do have a 3 PCIe plug GPU, don't need that. So we're going to put that in that box. You'll have 4 PSU fucking screws. Keep those aside, and some cable ties. You also need those later. Then here you do have the 16 pin 40 series and 50 series plug. Don't need that unless you have that GPU. We're not using that, so that goes in that box. And then more SATA power. Wait, is that the same one? No, there is 2 different ones. We will use... Yeah, it doesn't matter. Alrighty, next is the power supply. Sheesh, I feel like I would have had the PC built by now if I didn't go through all that. But I do get a lot of questions all the time about people asking, so I thought I'd just make a video about it, and that way they can just watch it. Now, power supply goes in the back here. One side's solid, one side's got a fan. Put the fan down always, otherwise you're going to fuck your power supply. I might try and put that mic over there a bit. Not that you can really see much, but plug, fan at the bottom, done. Line your screw holes up, then we go back to this little baggie from earlier. Chuck the rubbish. I might actually get my magnetic one. All right. There's a couple ways to do this. What I might do is we'll make it a little bit easier on ourselves. While this is still out, what we're going to do is plug all the cables in first. So, SATA power for our fan hubs, RGB hubs, and all of this. One of those in there. The 24 pin plug. So I say 24 pin, but one end's 24 for the motherboard. The other end is actually split. It's pretty obvious where they go though. It's labeled and it only fits in one spot. So we're going to plug that in. Then next up we have our CPU power. Now, If your power supply does only have one of these CPU powers, one 8-pin is enough, so don't stress. The end that says CPU will not plug into the power supply, the other end does. So we'll plug that in. Then we'll get our other CPU one. And do the same thing, plug that in. Then we'll get this PCIe cable. I've been saying it's 16, haven't I? It's 12 pin. I don't know why I've been saying 16. Oh, because usually 2 by 8. No, it's 12 pin. All right, and then we're going to plug that in. Now, with all our cables in, just chilling. I should have showed you, it is labeled, if you can see properly. You can't, but you get the picture. Now, we're going to slide this in, because plugging all those in later would have been annoying. So, now we're going to line it up and screw it in. Chase, what's going on? When am I back on COD? I'm not sure if I'll make it on tonight. Oh, Asa, what's going on? Not sure if I'm going to make it on tonight. Just because I'm going to finish this build, I've got to get Windows and everything installed on it. And then I'm probably going to make a public Discord as well. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I'm going to make a public Discord server tonight. So, yeah, I'm not sure if I will get around to playing COD, unfortunately, but gotta do what you gotta do. Thank you for the likes, man. Alrighty, guys. So, cables are in, right? Our next bit of fun is taking them to the right areas. So untangle them a bit. The two CPU ones will always go in this top corner. So what you can do is poke those through. All right, just leave them chilling. Then your PCIe ones. Now it's up to the case and all of that and how you want it to look, but these need to go to the front of the graphics card. How you get them there is up to you, but this case has two little holes right here where you can come straight up, plug into the graphics card and be done with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass those through. And boom. Now, 24 pin is always this side in the middle of your motherboard. So as nicely as possible, we're going to poke this through. Probably this hole here. Right. Poke it through, done. Then our last cable is to power up this little ugly hub. For now, we're just going to poke that in there. Now, this is all the case cables. We're going to try and hide them a little bit for now too. Now, this is what we're left with here. So we've got graphics card, motherboard power, CPU power, and that's all good for now. Now, I'm going to lay it down because it's so much easier. I'm going to flick these cables out of the way. You can do this in reverse. You can do the motherboard first, then those cables, but this is chill. Because once the motherboard is in, it's harder to get the cables in and stuff. So, lay it down. If your motherboard doesn't have it, but this one does, it's got a built-in I/O shield Some will be detached, so you'll have to slide that in first. But yeah, this will just, you should be able to see it pretty good from there actually. So yeah, you want to line up that back shield with that hole. Poke that in. That should just slot in perfectly. Then give it a bit of a wiggle, and I pushed it down too far. There we go. Line up your screw holes. Usually in the middle of the motherboard, there's like a little locating pin. Hi M9S5Y, what's going on? Yeah, so line up your screw holes, and then back in your motherboard box. Did I not put them? Oh, there they are. We have screws. Now, they usually come with a few types of screws. Just make sure, just test one, make sure it's all good. Screw these in. La da da dee da da dum. Da 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 dee 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 dee. There it is. Screw, screw, screw. One in the middle. And one more at the back. All right, that's all the screws done. All right, so now I'll stand that up so you guys can see what's going on. Yeah, alrighty. So, what we have now is our 24 pin. Make sure that's rotated the right way. This does have a little cable comb on it as well, so you can kind of like straighten up your cables and get that all nice, which we're gonna do. All right, then we bend that over, put a nice little bend in it first, because you don't want any pressure on the plug itself. Just bend the cable. Get that clipped in nice and snug. Don't be afraid to push tight. Coop, what's going on? Coop spilled his on his bed. Oh no. That's crazy. Alright, then at the top, CPU power cables. Now, doing this before you put the air cooler in is always way easier, so that's why I've chosen to do it this way this time. So top corner, you will have 2 plugs. Chuck those in. Flip the cable the other direction. All right. So CPU power, motherboard power, graphics card power is all chilling, ready to go. Now, flip it back. On this side, starting to take shape. Now, what we want to do next is, yo, Air Miranda, thank you so much for the sub. What's going on? Yeah, so next we want to undo all the cables that are coming out of the case. You'll have the audio plug here. You'll have the front panel plug. So this is like your on-off reset button and all of that. Sometimes it's in little different plugs. But this one is awesome and it comes as one separate plug. Well, one big plug, not individual little ones. So that makes it really handy. You got USB-C here and USB 3 here. Now, what we want to do is take the caps off the end. That's not a cap. That's just a white one. That's very rare. Usually they're blue. Now, we have a USB-C header up here, USB 3. The audio is always bottom left, no matter what, always. And the front panel is 99.9% of the time bottom right. So, we want to find the audio one. It says audio on it, makes it heaps easy. I'm going to try and find a hole that's in the best spot for you. Poke it through. If you do need help finding these headers, it is in the motherboard manual, but it kind of says it on there, like AUD audio. It matches. It won't plug in anywhere else. It's pretty chill. Audio plugged in. Next, we want the front panel one, which is in the bottom right or bottom left from the back. I'm going to pass that through. Plug it in, boom, done. As you can see, audio, front panel, done. They're usually in the same spot every time. Now, USB 4 lightning port, USB 3.2 or whatever the frig it is, technical term. Once again, only goes in one spot, usually right next to the 24 pin we did earlier. I think I've had, actually no, I haven't even had, no, I think they've all been right next to the 24 pin. Where's mine? Right next to the 24 pin. So we're going to pass that out right there. Now, once again, it is a bit of a sharp angle. So what you want to do is kink the cable first. Not heaps, don't like try and snap it, but just put a little kink in it. Plug it in. And then, boom, done. Happy days. Next one is your other USB, bit wider plug. Once again, you will find it always in this vicinity. This one here. Luckily, MSI actually have theirs as a 90°, makes it look way better, way easier to plug in. Some of them have to go out, around and back. It looks shit, but then they mess it up by having that one out around. So it is what it is. But it is always in this bottom right corner. Why am I having difficulty with this? There we go, done. Plugged in. All the front panel connectors are done. So we've had the audio, the USB, the USB-C, and the front panel connector all done. Now, if we bring this back around the back, what we can do now is start looking at cable management. So usually there's little loops everywhere in the back for you to tie to. Now, the motherboard should come with some cable ties. No, the case. Case will come with some cable ties, and so will the power supply. So we're going to start with this top corner because this top corner is pretty much done. So in our CPU cables, chuck it in here. M-Rider, how are you? What about giveaway? What, a PC giveaway? Now, is there one at the bottom? Oh, there's one there. So there's another one there which has twisty thingies on it. We don't use twisty thingies, we use cable ties. I'm going to be doing a Black Ops 7 giveaway very soon. Not a PC giveaway. I don't have a spare $2,000 to give away, unfortunately. Maybe one day. Right, now down the bottom, we're going to pick up the audio cable. And what else we got down here? This other little cable. I'm going to grab that as well. Put that all in the same cable tie. Tuck all that in. And then boom, done. All right, so that's those cables out the way. Mountain Bike Madness, what's going on? How long have I been working for? Like on this? Or in general? Usually I'd have this on this. I'd usually be finished this by now, but because I'm like talking through everything, I'm just like taking my time, kind of doing like a tutorial kind of thing. But usually a build like this would take me like max an hour. Yeah. So on this side, which most cases have as well, is built-in Velcro straps. So you don't want to do those until you have all your cables in, which I mean, we nearly do anyway. But what we're going to do now is unpack this other cable here. So the built-in hub for the fans and the RGB needs power, which we installed earlier. So we're going to grab that cable out. Now, these SATA cables always come with like a few done together, daisy chained. That's the word I was looking for. So they'll just all get tucked away. We'll just use one of them. We can make that a bit better. Sort of make sure none of the cables are tangled up with anything else. That way when you go to tuck everything back in, it's not too bad. Alrighty, so I'm going to tuck those all the way in, those ones. that is power for the hub done. Now, the other thing the hub has is an RGB cable. So you want to plug that in. You don't have to plug it in, but because there's a button on the front of the case to change the light colors. But if you do want to be able to control it from the PC software itself, you do need to plug this in. Now, if you only have one or two, usually, nearly every single time, there is a plug for it in the top right. It'll always be one. So we're going to take this up here. Once again, make sure it's not tangled with anything. Bring it up the top. Plug it in, put a little bit of a kink in the cable. Boom, done, there she is. Flip her back around. The next thing we'll have here is the fan speed cable, which is this other cable here, which originates from this side. Now, we don't want it to go to the CPU fan header, because that's going to be our CPU cooler plug. Sunset, what's going on, man? So what we want to find is system 1 fan, system 2 fan, something like that, which at the top we have system 1 fan. So once again, we'll follow that up to the top. Make sure it's not tangled again. Flip it around. And then boom, fan's plugged in as well. So we've got the RGB and the fan done. So that should be all the pre-installed cables done. It's annoying that they leave such length on it, because yeah, it's just going to be kind of messy down here, but it is what it is. It's not much you can do sometimes. So other than that, now what we'll want to do, we can do that after though. So pretty much we can start tying all our cables in. So we just undo these Velcro straps, and oh yeah, that's why they've done that. Then pretty much when we just grab your cables, we've got the top ones there. Don't put too much pressure on them. That in there, that one in there as well. Oh, nearly pulled it out. And boom, done. This one, won't do that. This is the little fiddly part, but it needs to be done, you know. I hate this bottom section in this board. I mean, this case. Now I've got the USB 3 cable. We should be able to tuck a little bit of slack up there in a bit of a loop. Yep. And boom. Now the top one, pretty much all we've got at the moment is just the RGB and the fan cable. Then down here, I think we've got one more cable tie spot, which with all their cables and stuff, it's pretty fucking ugly, but it is what it is. Not much you can do. Just try our best to tuck it in. I'll need one of these to power the RGB on the CPU cooler soon. So we'll plug that in there. All right. Not the best cable management situation on their hub, but I mean, not a lot you can do there, unfortunately. That can tie across. Now we look at what the front looks like, which is all that matters. And it's beautiful, right? The excess on these will just push down into the bottom. It does also come with a few extra Velcro ties if you need them. Yeah, so next what we're going to do is slide all that out though. And we'll need none of that at all, to be honest. Now, the next section is I'm going to have to lay it down, unfortunately. So it's going to be harder for you guys to see. Oh, I forgot to say as well, this does have a removable mesh at the bottom as well to clean. Another good feature. But that's not any good on that side, is it? That's much better. Bring that as close as possible. Should get a pretty good view of that there. Probably push that there. Yeah, that's good. Yo, NRL, what's going on, man? Welcome back. All right, guys. So next up is the CPU cooler. Now, once again, instructions in that box. Some of these come with the fans pre-installed, some do not. I'm good, man. I'm good. This one does. Anyway, now 90% of the time you'll have to change the mounting bracket. Sometimes you actually have to mount the screws on this as well. No, I'm building a PC for someone. Yeah. So what we're going to do first is change over the mounting system on the motherboard. So with that, what I might try and do, how much length to, I should have unplugged that. All my cables routed in nicely. So it's a standard mounting system. Just one of my mates, mate. Standard mounting system is these two black clips here. So I'm going to take those off. It's just 4 screws. Now, one of the best things to do is don't take both off at the same time because it's got a back plate that can drop off, especially now that we have the motherboard in the case first already, which is why I usually put the cooler on before I put it in the motherboard, before I put the motherboard in the case. But if you just take one bracket off, then we find the mounting bracket that we want to use. I'm your favorite streamer. Oh, thanks, man. So we want to use the one that says AMD because that's what we're on. Because AMD is the best. We'll find some little standoffs. I don't know why they're red and not black. some screws, and the new mounting brackets. So we'll take 2 of the standoffs first. All right. Then what you want to do is they only go one way. So there we go. Slot them over the little metal studs. All right. Then you're gonna screw the brackets on. Make sure you put them the right way. Look at the instructions if you don't know which way is the right way. Now we want to screw these in. And then that's what we've got. So that's chilling like that. Now that will hold while I take the next one off. All right, now we do the same thing. Grab our little red standoffs. Slide them on. And do you know what I did? I just realized that I actually put the other one the wrong way because I'm an idiot. I literally said, look at the instructions if you don't know which way it goes, and then I put it the wrong way. No, I'm not. Oh, thanks, man. I just did something silly. That's all. There we go. We put it the right way. I think I just saw the writing was the right way, and then that's what I went by. But you don't go by the writing. All right. Make sure they're tight, not too tight. Don't go hectic. And that's our new mounting brackets. So they're just chilling there. Now, to make sure everything is all sweet, what I normally do, PC come with instructions. No, not exactly. It comes with manuals that you need to know how to read and to know what you're doing. But that's why I'm doing this video, so people can get a step-by-step instruction of how to do it. Now, these have a plastic cover on them. Leave the plastic on for now, because what you want to do is sit it in, make sure it lines up, make sure the screw holes line up, and then once you're happy that it's all good, even if you want, you can screw it down to make sure it's all good. But I know it's all good, so it's all fine. So what we're going to do is we are going to sit that there for now. Now, some of these have pre-applied thermal paste on it, so you don't have to do the thermal paste. This one, actually I'm going to take that off because I'm going to stand the case up in a second. This one doesn't have thermal paste, so we're going to put some on it. I try and spread it out. Usually, I don't have my spreader on me. There's no spreader in the case, so we're just going to do a couple of lines. Now, I do a little bit extra in the middle. Try and see in the light there. So yeah, I've just got 3 little lines and then a little bit more in the middle, and then that will just spread out nicely. But yeah, like I said, usually I like to have a spreader and I spread it out fully like butter. But that will be fine. If you just do a little dot in the middle, it will probably be fine. But yeah. And NRL, my full video will be recorded on YouTube. So if you ever want to look back at it, you can. So next, what we're going to do is I'm going to lift this up. We'll take the plastic off because it's in the way. This part is annoying. So if you don't have someone to hold it for you, try and find a spot for it. Put the hoses going to the front of the case. Make sure, do not forget to peel the plastic off this. Otherwise, your CPU will overheat. Doesn't matter, you'll be able to fix it anyway. So, you're going to set this down. Try not to like put it down and like smudge it round. You're going to try and just put it down straight on the screw holes. Screwdriver. Get the top or bottom started first. Do not go down the whole way yet. Then, once you've done one end, start the other end. Then you get that one down halfway. Go back to the top. Screw it in. Go back to the other side. Screw it down. How cheap could you get a PC for? Oh, depends where you are, man, to be honest. I'm in Australia. But yeah, whereabouts are you? I think like a decent one here is like $1,800. So probably like 1,000 US maybe. I'm not sure. Like, depends on your pricing in your area as well. Like, I know some places are crazy. Just to run a stream. It's not, why do you already have one? See, I stream and game on the same PC. I don't ever see the point of having 2 separate ones. I'd rather have just one really good PC that does both. Because I run 4 streams on mine and game on it at the same time. Oh, you have a PS5, so you want to use like a... I used to do that with an Xbox. I had an external capture card. I would just... You can do like a cheap laptop even then. That's what I did when I had an Xbox. Yeah, when I had an Xbox, I just had a USB capture card, which is like $300 or something. And then I had I think I spent like $650 on like a laptop. Because yeah, you don't need heaps. I think it had like a 1650 in it or something. And that was 650 AUD, so that probably would have been like 450, 500 US. So yeah, you don't need heaps, and especially if you only want to do like one stream. Ryzen 5 and 6600s, depending on what the Ryzen 5 is, I'm assuming a Ryzen 5 3600 if it's with that GPU, or it might be a Ryzen 5 5600, but I'm assuming 3600. But yeah, RX 56, you think? Oh yeah, cool. The only thing I would say is that's really good for 1080p gaming, to be honest. Like, that would be much better than your PS5 if you do like FPS gaming. Like, if you wanted to do like, I don't know, like Valorant, COD, anything like that, that would be awesome. The only issue is with old... Eamon, what's going on, man? The only thing with older Radeon cards, like the 6600, is the 6000 series wasn't good at streaming. So not the best for streaming. I would try to get something with like if it's an older one, I would try and get something with an NVIDIA card, because AMD didn't get good at streaming until the 7000 series. But yeah, like I said, that PC would be quite a decent buy instead of your PlayStation if you do prefer like competitive like shooting games and stuff like that, or like if you want to get into like Escape from Tarkov, or I don't know, like PC exclusive games. That's not too bad of a starting PC. 680, is that US or is that AED? Because about 600 for that PC is pretty good if it's AED. Yeah, that's not too bad, really. But yeah, like I said, if you want it as a streaming PC, then yeah, not great. You can just use like the CPU encoder instead of the GPU encoder, which will make it a bit better. But they're just not, like, using the CPU as the encoder for streaming just isn't as good. Could swap this GPU, yeah, of course, man. Yeah, definitely. Like, you could probably sell that GPU for like 250, maybe 200 really. And then yeah, put something else in there. Like maybe even like a 2060 or a 2070. If you get like a 2070 Super for like $300. Alrighty, guys, let's go back to finishing this build. So on the radiator here, the fans are all pre-installed. They aren't all plugged in together yet. So what we're going to do with this is just undo all these cables. How much for the one I'm working on now? This came to 2,000. Oh, 2,200. Yeah, 2,200 it was, yeah. Streak, what's going on, man? Welcome back. Whereabouts in Australia are you unknown? Oh, you're in Adelaide. Oh, me too. That's perfect. I mean, what we would do is kind of, we would custom it. We would custom the PC to your price and what you want to do with it. So, like, first would be like finding your like price that you want to spend, and then like your max that you could possibly spend. But like probably like it just depends on what system you go with, because this is an AM5 system, so it's upgradable later. But if you do an AM4 system, it's not upgradable any further than the latest AM4 CPU, which is still a very good CPU for like 90% of people. So it's not too bad. I think I'd say probably 15 to 1800 to be safe though. Would be what you'd be looking at really. Alrighty, guys. So what we're gonna do now is all the cables here. We've undone them. And pretty much we're just gonna put them through the back of the case. It's so much easier when you have two people. But luckily they are long enough to sit down and just do this. Yeah, unknown. I pretty much don't charge for building. I love building, and yeah, I like streaming it. You know, interacting with people. But pretty much, let's say like if a PC came to $1,580, I would just round it up to 1,600 and take like $20. Like this PC was like 2185 or something like that, and I'm getting 2200. Alrighty, guys, we got the cables through. Now we need the screws. I definitely should have undone those beforehand. Let's just sit that back down for a second. Is that the U97 9XT? Wait, what? What are you talking about, Shake? 2060 would be a decent like if you're still going to use your console, yeah. i7, I mean, I'm not a fan of Intel myself, but it's not bad. But yeah, a 2060, like that would be if you use your PS5 for playing and that for streaming, definitely plenty. But what you need to take into account is if you're going to do PlayStation and PC, you then need a capture card, and that capture card's $300. So you may as well just put that extra $300 into a better PC. So take that into account. Streaming Minecraft, I mean, the Minecraft is pretty easy to run depending on what lighting you run, what mods you run, and all of that. And then once you start looking at more mods, you then need more RAM. I'm assuming that PC that you're saying probably has 16. You probably want 32. Like, there is a lot of variables. Someone had the same PC as me. How do you know? I have a 4090 in mine now. All right. So I love this cooler. Yeah, love this cooler. It has plastic clips on the hoses, keeps them nice and perfect. You can slide them to wherever you want it as well. It is only $100 AUD as well, so it's cheap as shit for a 360 cooler anyway. And yeah, looks cool. It runs well. It's quiet and it's elite. Streak, because they said they on their stream showed us it looked exactly like mine. I mean, yeah, a lot of people do have a PC that looks like mine. Doesn't mean the specs are the same, but like, yeah, my PC, a lot of people do have a PC that looks like mine. Yeah, it is pretty common. I'll just flick my PC in the screen for a second. Oh, where is it? There we go. It's not a great angle, but you get the idea. Right, now what we're gonna do, I do need to do an love the neon green. Yeah, it is pretty sweet. I do need to do an updated video on my setup because I have changed a few things. Alrighty guys, so from each fan you have a fan controller cable and an RGB cable. So what you're going to do is grab all the fan controller ones, and they've got two plugs, female, male, probably not allowed to say that anymore. But what we want to do is pretty much the male one on this end will plug into the CPU fan slot or header, and then the others will just plug into each other. Unfortunately, these style of cables are so messy. Yeah, CPU fan header is always this top corner, as per all the other cables that I've said. Nanita, hey, how are you? PC specs. So this is a AMD AM5 build. It's the 7700X CPU and a 7800 XT GPU, which I do have sitting out right here. It is the power color Hellhound. Quite a nice pearl white finish on it. Not sure if you can see it in the angle there. But yeah, so that's going in here. It's a MSI case, MSI motherboard. Yeah. 750 watt power supply. So back to that fan header. We're going to plug that in. It's so much harder to plug it in when this cooler's in. Mustafa, thank you so much for the follow. While I've got it laying down, actually I'll flip this up so you guys can see. Off the pump here, we have once again two separate cables: the RGB cable and the pump cable. Working out stuff. It's with my super. Super? How are you getting super back? Anyway, not my issue. Yeah, yeah, I'll add you, but I'm also if you go onto my YouTube, I haven't put it on my TikTok yet because I haven't fully set it up. It's only half set up. I have a public Discord in my YouTube bio. So yeah, if you jump on my public Discord, that way I'm always reachable. Yeah, I'm going to finish setting that up tonight, actually. But the link is there for you to join. So now we have the pump cable, which is going to be fun to plug in. Did a bit of a rookie error. I was supposed to plug this in before I put the radiator in. There we go, it's in. Now the leftover cable, we'll bring that through the top. Boom. Now, back to the cables. Okay, so we've just brought through these cables here. So this has the RGB cable on it, and that's the RGB cable from the fan. That's the RGB cable from the other fan, and that's the RGB cable from the other fan. Pretty much, once again, just like the fan controller cables, they all plug into each other. So just take the cap off. Oops. Plug it in. Take the cap off. Plug it in. Then the CPU cooler. Also has the same thing. Take the cap off. Plug it in. Then down here with the existing cables that we had earlier, cap's already off. And that doesn't slot onto those nicely. I don't like it. Can I take that to a different spot? Well, actually, where's the back one? Oh, no. Take that off. And I shall plug mine on there. Thank you much, please. And then this one can plug to this one. Done. All right. No one else talking? No. Righty. So now we have to try and clean up this mess as much as possible. Unfortunately, there's not a heap of cable tying areas up here. So what we're going to do, bring all the cables together. Make sure there's no cables poking out the front. Put a cable tie. Then we put another one here. Then all of this garbage. We can probably put another one there. One thing you don't have to deal with is with expensive fans, all these extra cables, but is what it is. That was always going to be a mess, that section. Unless I fully rewired it, but I'm not doing that. So now you flip this over, and as you can see, fuck, I'm perfect. Right, that's all on. Cables are in. That's all on. That's all on. Right. Now, for the graphics card. So we want screwdriver. Next, we want to. There's a little black lever here. We're going to make sure that's pushed in. Then you want to just sit this in, kind of where it's going to go. And then look on the back here where these separate little slots are. See which ones are in the way of the graphics card, which is 2 and 3. We want to keep these screws because these screws will screw the graphics card in. Right. Keep those for later. Make sure that's sitting nice. It's got a bit of plastic on it still. Alrighty. Now we grab our cables. Now once again, these have a little comb on it to make them nice and neat. These are 6+2. There we go, 6+2. They do like clip together. So you want to hold those together. Plug those in. Very important to make sure they're all the way in and clipped. Press hard. Don't want any loose connections. That's all the way in. So now what we want to do is get our cable combs, make sure that's all good, and then all that excess we'll just push straight through there. Pull the cable comb up a bit. Get them looking all nice. Right, and then they look all fantastic, just like that. Luke, what's going on? Got a nut on this. Oh, what's going on, man? NRL, you playing COD? Oh, good luck, my dude. All right, guys. Well, that is it. We're going to power it up in a second. So we're just going to double check everything. All the cables are in. That's all good. What we're going to do first is this nifty little GPU holder. Going to get that to the right height. So it is magnetic and it has rubber top and bottom, so you're not going to scratch anything. Yep. So we're going to make that the right height. A little bit taller. It does have a locking nut as well. If I can undo it. Oh, does it not have a locking nut? I definitely thought it had a locking nut. Nope, it does have a locking nut. It's just fucking tight. And it's really tight, clearly. No, I won't be playing COD tonight, NRL. There we go. Got the locking nut down. I think my mate's here. Nope. Alright, now we want to set this to a nice height. So the graphics card's nice and supported. Yeah, that's a good height. Alright, so we'll set that locking nut. Don't want that sitting on the fan. There you go. Found a good spot for it. And boom. Just like that. She's done. I'm just going to quickly grab my clippers and just cut all these cable ties. Then I can put the panels back on and we're good. Alrighty, I'm back. Alright. Back panel. I'm so good at PC. Oh, thanks, man. Alright, case on top. Why won't you? Oh, hang on a second. I forgot a couple extra screws up here. I just did a couple just to hold it. Forgot to finish the rest of them. got too caught up talking about streaming PCs. Alright, there we go. Let's get rid of this piece of plastic on the front. That doesn't get caught in anything. Oh, these also have internal strips. Is there another one? Is there one on that one? Yes. That's crazy. Usually it's just internal strip. Alrighty, that's on. Glass. Alrighty, moment of truth. Will she turn on? I mean, I haven't had one not turn on yet, and I've built like 20 of them, so we should be sweet. Touch wood. Oh, you can see the reflection of my fans. Oh, I might need an extension lead. No, we made it. Right, guys, here we go. Boom. I can hear the fan. I mean, hear the pump. Sweet.
This one?
Yeah. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, it is done. Took way longer than it would normally take. What would that take? An hour, about an hour and a half. Yeah, but hopefully that helps you guys out. Any questions, let me know. I will be starting a public Discord as of tonight. So I'm going to be putting some PC builds on there and stuff as well. So kind of have a little page dedicated to that as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys soon. Have a good one.